everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing some products that have recently hit the market that are targeted for those of us with oily skin and large pores. They are supposed to keep us looking shine-free, poreless, flawless, perfect all day long. So the question is, do they really work? And if so, do you have to use the whole system to get perfect results, or can you use some products individually? Which ones do I think are actually the most worthwhile if you don't want to buy all of them? So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on these products, then please keep on watching. About 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was strolling through Sephora, like I often do, and I stumbled upon this new display in the Lancome area. As someone with really oily skin, large pores, and texture, it spoke to me. It called to me because they were showcasing the Idole Ultra Wear foundation, which has been around for a long time, and there were new products. One of them being this powder called Long Time No Shine. And for me, that is music to my ears because I'm always looking for the perfect setting powder or product, whatever it might be, to help control the oil my skin produces. Of course, it starts with skincare, and I am kind of playing around with my skincare right now, trying to get my skin to be less oily but not dehydrated. Anyway, another video on skincare, it will be coming shortly because I am changing things up. So I saw the powder and I saw this pore blurring stick and this prep and matte primer. So they showed the powder, the foundation. Oh, and I almost forgot this setting spray called Fix It and Forget It. So right then and there, I almost grabbed all of the products and put them into my basket. But then I stopped myself and I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to my contact at Lancome. I don't get a ton of PR from them, but they had sent me some stuff in the past. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to ask them if they would consider sending me the products for an honest review. Now, to be clear and also 100% transparent, this video is not sponsored. Lancome is not paying me to do this video. They did not ask me to do this video. I asked them if they would simply send me the products to do a completely honest, not that any of my videos aren't honest, but just I made them aware that this was going to be not necessarily a 100% positive review. There was potential for it to be, but I couldn't promise them that. What I told them is that I have very oily skin myself. These products sound perfect for me and my skin type. And I have a lot of viewers that also struggle with finding the perfect products to keep them matte and poreless and covered all day long. So I really think this would be a video that my viewers would enjoy and really find helpful. So it's great that Lancome had enough confidence in their products to say, sure, give them a try. We'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. So that's exactly what I did. I've been using all of these products in a bunch of different ways for several weeks now. I didn't give this system 1 day, 2 days, 4 days. I have been using it for a couple of weeks now. So I'm going to get to how I feel about each product individually a little bit later, but first I'm going to do a demo, how I applied each product, do some check-ins for you, and then come back and talk, like I said, about each product individually. I begin by applying the Blur and Go stick to the areas of my face where the pores are the most visible, which is in my cheek area, my forehead, the sides of my nose, a little bit on my chin, and then I gently rub it in. And as you can see, it immediately takes down any shine. The pores just seem to disappear completely. Next, I'm applying the Prep and Matte. The right-hand side of my face does not have the Blur and Go stick on it. I wanted to see if there was a difference between how makeup wore over just the primer and how it wore over both the primer and the blurring stick. So once again, the right side does not have the blurring primer. As you can see, my face is getting a little bit red from it. And what I'm trying to show you here is that the pores are definitely more blurred using the stick versus the primer. And now I'm just placing the Prep and Matte over the side that does have the Blur and Go stick on it as well. Next, I'm using the Idole 24-Hour Liquid Foundation, applying it with a damp beauty blender and just bouncing it onto my skin like usual. I would classify this as being a medium coverage foundation. It's not covering the marks from old breakouts along my jawline. I'm also finding that I'm having to go over the T-zone area a couple times to get really nice full coverage in that area. I don't own a Lancome concealer, so I'm just using this one from Cover Effects. I recently picked it up on a trip to Sephora, and it's a little light for me, but so far I'm really liking the consistency and coverage. And now I'm just setting everything with the Long Time No Shine powder in Translucent. And now that I've completed the rest of my makeup, I'm going to use the Fix It and Forget It setting spray. All right, so this is after 5 hours of wear, and I, at this point, was very, very shiny. The lighting, I went all around my house. I'm in my basement right here, but I went all around my house trying to find the lighting that would really show just how oily I was. So for using all of these mattifying products, I'm not super impressed, but once I went back and I powdered with the Long Time No Shine, this is just a light dusting of powder, I feel like it ended up looking pretty nice once I applied that powder. So this is after about 12 hours of wear, and it was dark, so it was difficult to find good lighting anywhere in my home. And as you can see, I was back to being pretty shiny. If I had used blotting papers, I probably would have gone through about 5 or 6 of them at this point. Okay, everything you just saw was filmed yesterday. So I'm gonna start showing you these products from my favorite to my least favorite. I would say that my favorite product out of this entire system is the loose powder. Now, as you saw yesterday in the check-in, it didn't keep me shine-free past that 5-hour mark. I was shiny actually well before that when I would look into different mirrors around my home. I was definitely shiny. But when I have tried this powder with other foundations, not with the Teint Idole, with my other favorite long-wearing, oil-controlling foundations like Estee Lauder Double Wear and like my MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing, this powder performed beautifully. The combination of the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing especially, and this Long Time No Shine powder was amazing. Now, the other thing I really love about this powder is when you set your makeup with it, it truly gives a flawless airbrushed look. It diffuses fine lines and large pores. Even if you don't use any other pore refining primer underneath, it just makes your skin look beautiful. It doesn't have any flashback in photography. You can also touch up with it. As you saw in those check-ins, I was pretty shiny at that 5-hour mark, but then I went and I dusted a little bit of this powder on top. It didn't make my foundation look heavy or cakey. It just took down that shine and made it look freshly applied. So if you were to ask me what is the must-have out of all of these products, I would say it is the powder. And as I talked about just a few moments ago, the foundation and the powder you'd think would be an amazing combination, but I just don't find that this product is the best for oil control, for those of us with really oily skin. If you have combination skin or slightly oily skin, then you'd probably love this, as long as you also aren't looking for very full coverage, because this to me is more of a medium, buildable to full. But when I was putting it on yesterday, I noticed that, I've been trying to compare it to my other foundations, my other long-wearing favorites, and I just don't feel like it gives me the coverage. Not everyone likes a full coverage foundation. I get that. I totally understand that. And I do like this foundation, but this is not going to be the one I reach for when I want a really flawless look. Yes, this product is long wearing, although I have never personally tested out the 24-hour claim. I've never worn a foundation more than probably 14, 15 hours. It does come in a nice variety of colors. The negatives are that it just doesn't control oil that well, in my opinion, and it's not truly full coverage, but it is a nice product. So now let's talk about the Blur and Go and the Prep and Matte. The Blur and Go, as you saw in the demo, when it's first applied, it really does blur your pores. However, the effects are not that long lasting. When I looked during those check-ins very, very closely, the pores were the same size that they had been prior to the application of this. I don't know if you could really see in the demonstration that my pores were very much blurred when it was first applied. But again, as the oil started coming through, the pores expanded and the effects were kind of not really there. I'm not sure this is a really necessary step. I will say though that the primer is very nice. If you don't like a silicone-y feeling primer, you prefer more of a lotion type of primer, then you will really, really like this, especially if your skin is not quite as oily as mine. Maybe you have combination skin or slightly oily skin, or even dry skin and you just have trouble with your foundation staying on. It smells really nice. It doesn't quite blur the pores. I've been reading reviews on it, what other people have said, and they say that it smooths out their pores and texture. I didn't really find that to be so, especially when using this first. This blurred the pores, this one not so much. But it did, the other days that I tried it, again with different foundations other than this one, I think that for me, the foundation is the problem. I think everything else here, with the exception of this, I don't think this is a must-have, but the primer, the powder, the setting spray, these are great products that will continue to be in my routine. I'm getting a little off track here because I told you guys I would be ranking them in order, and I really need to get back to doing that. So I would say my favorite product is the powder. My second favorite product is the Prep and Matte. My third favorite would be the Fix It and Forget It. I love that this has a very fine mist. It doesn't squirt right out at you and only cover one little area. Just a couple of sprays of this. Don't overdo it, because if you do more than 3 sprays, it does feel a little sticky, although it dries quickly. It's just a really good setting spray. It says that it has up to 24-hour hold. It has plant extracts. It deflects pollution. It's very nice, and it does smell good as well. My fourth place product would probably be the foundation. Just for me personally, I think, as I said earlier, there are plenty of people out there that swear by this. I just think it's the fact that I prefer something more full coverage and I need a little bit more oil control. And then the product in last place for me would be this Blur and Go stick. I just don't think it's necessary. I think that for someone with oily skin that wants the pore blurring effect and something that's going to help their makeup stay on longer and be less shiny, my choice would be the Hourglass Veil, especially since the price of these two would be just as much as buying the pretty expensive Hourglass Veil, but it works so, so well. So I'll continue to use this, but I'm not sure it's going to replace my Hourglass Veil as one of my Holy Grail primers. Also, you guys, if you've been with my channel, you know I really like the Trifecta Primer as well. That one does a great job at blurring pores. But the Trifecta is a silicone primer, and this is a lotion, which I know a lot of people prefer. So that is my final assessment of this new Lancome sort of system for long wearing, shine-free, poreless makeup. And let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these products and what your favorite products are for blurring your pores, what your favorite oil controlling powder is. I'm always interested to hear what products you guys are loving. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and that you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter. Everything is all under the same name. It's all Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. you.